this gentleman here is a little bit of everything. He is a former NYPD policeman and a secret agent man, right?
I love that song.
I love, yeah, we've decided that we're going to be your Bond girls today.
Oh my gosh.
Dan Bongino. I first was introduced to you because some of your people contacted me about social networking.
Oh, yeah.
And you wrote this brilliant article that I posted all over the place, and it was wonderful. And you ran for state senate, U.S. Senate, I'm sorry, U.S. Senate, and you didn't win, but he will next time.
That's right.
This is one of the guys that thinks outside the box, like Assemblyman Tim Donnelly in California and all the outcasts that the GOP won't necessarily back. Welcome to PolitiChicks. We are honored to have you here.
Oh, this is terrific. Your post on Facebook, I was telling you kind of off air, that got me more Facebook likes than some of my appearances on major national media shows. So you have your sway and influence is more pronounced than I think you even know. So thank you very much.
Only when it's deserved. They don't click like if they don't like you. So it makes a difference.
That so it was over 400 or something likes by the time we were done. So, and your advice, by the way, on social media was peerless. We had all those groups up and they couldn't find me. The minute we took them down, it just exploded. We actually tripled it in just 4 or 5 months.
Well, you combine them. And then so
Those are stuff, folks, absolutely.
I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know about that. All right, what in the world how are you going to use all these gifts you have to help our country?
Well, listen, I always say the ties that bind are the ties that blind. I say that because, they're all bound together in D.C. There's a bunch of lawyers, insider political classmates. I call them the downtown Abbey crowd. They sit there and they talk in this echo chamber. Then you have folks like us. You mentioned Tim Donnelly. You have these outsiders, Jesse Kelly, these people who come up at Mia Love and shake up the system. And, listen, we're not here to divide the party, but we have to be honest with ourselves about why we lost. They don't get behind people like us. And, here's an interesting quote I had from a GOP official in Maryland. He said, well, he didn't wait in line. Wait in line? This was after the primary, Morgan. Keep in mind. Yeah, wait in line. Wait, what line are you talking about? The only line I'm concerned about is the line at the voting booth. I don't owe you anything as an elected official. You work for me and you. You're a public servant. Just because I'm running for office doesn't make you any different. I'm not going to kiss any rings. And I'm not going to do it now. But we have all the volunteers and we raised most of the money in Maryland, so most of them leave me alone.
I find that with a lot of politicians, that they don't hit the streets. They don't go out. Nobody's going to Chicago. Nobody's going to Detroit and walking the streets and saying, okay, talk to me. What do we need to do to help you? They isolate themselves in their limos.
When you put a face on something, it's very difficult to do that. I'm a man of, when I say humble beginnings, I mean about as humble as I get. We ate bologna and Cheerios for dinner growing up. We were very poor. We lived above a bar, listened to a lot of Elton John involuntarily on the jukebox at night, couldn't go to sleep. I'm not going to be lectured by anyone in the Democratic Party about how I'm not in it for the little guy. You know what? I was a little guy. I was a product of school choice. So what I did in my campaign, and we had a good following amongst Hispanic and black voters, is we would, what you just said, we would bypass traditional mechanisms. We would go to metro stops, our mass transit system. We would stand there. First time we showed up, they'd say, aren't you a Republican? Second time, they'd say, back again. By the third time, they'd say, what do you want to talk about? You ask anyone who was with me, third or fourth time we broke through because it was hard to say, oh, he's a Republican, he's obviously a racist. Really? Well, what's he doing here again? Over and over if he can't stand us so much. And I'd say, well, there's no they and us. It's just us, folks. It's just us. So you're right. If you're not knocking on doors and you're not at Metro Stop shaking hands, you already lost. You just don't know it yet.
What's your next step? What are you going to be doing, and where can we find you? Where can everyone in the United States find Dan Bongino?
Well, I know talking to you two that when I say where to find that they'll actually find us. You guys have so much sway on social media. I'm at D Bongino on Twitter. I think on Instagram as well. What's ahead? Well, April 9th on our social media account. Little teaser there. Maybe they'll come follow us. We're going to announce some progress for 2014. But I can tell you we are not backing out of the system. We are going to change this. If I have to drag this bull by the horns and put it on the ground myself, I am not going to let Maryland collapse. I'm not going to let it happen. It's my state. It's my home. They deserve better than this, the folks there. They deserve some balance in their approach to politics, and we are being overwhelmed. And you got to fight back. Talk is cheap. Your liberty isn't.
April 9th, Dan Bongino's Facebook page, big announcement. That's right. And we'll let you know after we learn about it.